Welcome back to CAISTROLOGY, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cailin, I'm an astrologer and tarot reader, and today I'm going to be doing your July 2021 horoscopes. If you'd like to skip this introduction, you can head to the timestamps in the description box below. First and foremost, the most accurate horoscope for you will be your Ascendant sign horoscope. Having said that, my horoscopes can be applied to your sun and moon sign as well, and I do recommend that you watch all three if you've got the time. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please do so if you want to see more content from me, and of course if you enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. And before I get into your horoscope, I just wanted to sort of shed some light on my personal life and why I'm doing what I'm doing with these horoscopes. I feel like every month I don't really go into any detail about who I am and why I'm here, but I just wanted to let you guys know that astrology and tarot are absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, my passion in life, and I have found so much comfort in studying my own astrological birth chart, and I really just want to share the knowledge that I have with you guys. And I believe that my monthly horoscopes, well, I'd like to believe that they allow you to feel more empowered within your own life and hopefully connect with the things that light you up and make you in alignment with your higher self. So thank you for sticking around for this longer than normal introduction. It is Cancer season and I've got a lot of placements in Cancer, so yeah, just felt like sharing. All right, let's dive into the horoscopes. Hi Sagittarius Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your July 2021 horoscope. We're off to a rocky start for the first 9 or 10 days of the month because we've got a series of squares and oppositions occurring between Saturn, Uranus, Venus and Mars. But from about the 10th of July onwards, things will get better and better, so just bear with me for the first few minutes. On the 1st of July, Mars in Leo in your 9th house will oppose Saturn in Aquarius in your 3rd house. This may spell arguments between you and your father, or even your siblings and your father. On a different note, you may not be able to complete your education or your travel plans due to some kind of everyday errand which crops up, or you may have a lot of responsibilities towards your siblings and your relatives which impedes your ability to travel or to complete your education. Now, if you have submitted annual leave to your place of work, this may be queried, rejected, or they may just ask you to revise your dates. So that's something to look out for. On the 4th of July, Mars in Leo in your 9th house will square Uranus in Taurus in your 6th house. This can lead to being frustrated with the education system which you are involved in. Whether you are a teacher or perhaps you're attending university, there may just be issues with submitting coursework. You may be racing against the clock to get something in on time. You may be having issues with technology because Uranus rules over technological devices and it rules over your 3rd house in your horoscope. And also just be very, very careful about any kind of plagiarism or copyright content because your work may be audited. With this particular transit, you could simply just be frustrated with your workplace politics, and that's because Mars rules your 12th house, which is connected to politics, and with Uranus in your 6th house, which represents your place of daily work. There's just a number of indicators here for a bit of workplace gossip, so just try to stay out of it. Now, on the 7th of July, Venus in Leo in your 9th house will oppose Saturn in Aquarius in your 3rd house. This may see your project or your work being criticized after having been circulated through the workplace. I know that this is kind of a crappy start to the month, but like I said, things really will improve for you, so just keep bearing with me. On a different note, with this transit, your sick leave paperwork may be questioned in the workplace, and if you do have to take a sick day, I would advise that you get a medical certificate because your boss may turn around and suddenly demand a medical certificate even if that wasn't the usual protocol in the past. On the 9th of July, Venus in your 9th house will square Uranus in Taurus in your 6th house. Uranus is the planet of sudden change and shocking developments. So you may have to unexpectedly travel for work-related purposes because Venus rules your 6th house. Venus also rules your 11th house, which rules over large-scale events, and you may have to travel for some kind of conference. Now, there may be some unforeseen work circumstances which impede your ability to travel. And on a different note, you may be required to take further courses with regard to your education. There may be some kind of pre-qualifying education for your position at work, or it may just be some personal development courses that your workplace wants you to carry out. On the 10th of July, there will be a new moon in Cancer at 18 degrees and it is occurring in your 8th house. This can see there being a positive change to your mutual resources. Your partner's pay may increase, or perhaps you and your business partner are finally seeing the fruits of your labor come in. Certainly, if you offer any kind of services which you take payment for, these can increase. Now, new moons are all about new beginnings and planting the seeds. So you may not necessarily see this change occur straight away. For example, your partner or your significant other may be offered a pay rise or a promotion, but it may not actually come into play for about 6 months until the full moon in Cancer. On another level, some of you may decide that you want to start preparing your will. And with regard to your emotional health and well-being, there can be a positive new chapter starting in this department. Your 8th house rules over psychology, your emotional security, and it also rules over spirituality and the occult. So you may have a newfound interest in psychology, the occult, spirituality, or you could just be interested in trying to heal from any kind of deep-seated psychological issues which may have been rooted in your childhood. And lastly, with this new moon in Cancer, some of you will be embarking on a new sexual relationship. And then on the 13th of July, Venus will conjunct Mars in Leo in your 9th house. This is such an auspicious time for you to invest in any kind of mentorship program, education, or even travel plans. Fixed sign squares are all about investing in something which you have already started. So with regard to education, you may be taking up some course which is connected to health. It may be for work, or to try and achieve your long-term goals and dreams, or for some of you, this may simply be to pursue your hobbies and your interests. With travel, you may be investing in travel for work or health-related purposes. You may be planning to attend some kind of spiritual retreat, or some of you may decide to travel with either your children or a romantic partner. Now, you may be wanting to join some kind of mentorship program, or perhaps you will be the mentor or a teacher or a life coach in some respect. And lastly, the 9th house represents religion and spirituality. So you may travel for some kind of religious or spiritual event or festival, or you may be giving a talk at a religious or a spiritual gathering. And that's because Venus rules your 11th house of large-scale events, and it also rules over things like webinars and conferences as well. Now, on the 22nd of July, Venus in Virgo in your 10th house will oppose Jupiter in Pisces in your 4th house. Jupiter is your ruling planet Sagittarius, so this particular transit will have a very positive impact on you. It is activating your 10th house of career and public life and your 4th house of home and family. So some of you may be offered a job for a second time round. Perhaps you were passed over for a promotion, or maybe you applied for a job and you were unsuccessful. In any case, your boss may come back to you and say, you're ready, do you want this opportunity? or the job that you were unsuccessful in obtaining the first time around may call you and tell you that they have a vacancy which has come up out of the blue. Some of you will be re-entering the workforce for the first time in a while, or you may be notified that you can actually work from home indefinitely. In any case, this particular transit will have a very tangible impact on both your home life and your career life, as I've indicated. And with respect to starting a family, you may have had another child and now you need to push the pause button on your career and take some parental leave. And some of you may be granted some time off so that you can spend it with your family. On the 24th of July, there will be a full moon in Aquarius at 1 degree in your third house, and it will be in a wide conjunction with Saturn. Full moons indicate completion and things coming full circle. So some of you may be completing an education course. You may have mastered some kind of skill or trade. You may have finished an apprenticeship, or perhaps you have successfully passed some kind of vehicle test and now you've got your driver's license or your boat license. With this full moon in Aquarius in your third house, you may have finished some kind of writing piece or communications piece. You may decide that the time is finally ripe for you to launch your business online, or perhaps you're launching your business on a social media platform. And then on the 28th of July, Jupiter, your ruling planet, will re-enter the sign of Aquarius. This can see you reconciling with friends, siblings, and extended relatives. The third house also rules over contracts and paperwork. And because Jupiter is retrograde here, you may be renegotiating some kind of contract or paperwork, especially if it's connected to vehicles or land or property. Some of you may be gifted a second-hand car, an electronic device, or even an old novel which is precious to you. And lastly, with the full moon in Aquarius, some of you may decide to recommence a work project which you had previously put on pause, or you may recommence some kind of education course which you stopped somewhere along the way. And now for the last transit of the month, on the 30th of July, Mars will enter the sign of Virgo, which means it will be transiting your 10th house of career and your public life. This can see you being laser focused on your career. You may be vying for a promotion, a new title, or perhaps you're actually changing departments or industries altogether. Some of you may decide that you want to work for yourself, or you may actually decide to resign from the workforce altogether. You may experience arguments or discord with your boss or with authority figures at this time, so just be really mindful not to get into any heated discussions if you can avoid it. And also with Mars transiting your 10th house, this is a wonderful time for self-promotion because Mars rules your 5th house and that rules over any kind of business which you own and which you have created. So Sagittarius, that's all I have for you for July 2021. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content from me at CAISTROLOGY, please subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, do so because I'm very active there. And of course, if you want to book a private one-on-one reading with me, you can do so by booking at CAISTROLOGY.com. Enjoy the month ahead and I will see you guys next month.